Hi, my name's Aaliyah and I just bought an RV, so let's go camping it for the first time ever. Caravan crew. If you don't know anything about me or my life, here's a quick chronological synopsis. Number 1. I decided to move back to Florida at the beginning of June and live with my mom temporarily while I made the transition to van life. It's August 10th when I'm writing this. Number 2. After moving back down south, I met a friend named Tim who recently got a tow pop-up camper and was a little further ahead of me on this nomadic road life game than I was. I hadn't even started playing that game yet. Number 3. I got myself a little quote-unquote B+ RV, which is slang for a C-class that is essentially a B-class but with a wider coach. Number 4. Tim invited me to caravan up with him to Rock Springs to test it out. So here's a documentation of that journey, the things we saw, the adventures we had, and what I learned along the way. I have been initiated into RV life. Oh my gosh. I am going camping this weekend with my friend Tim. He invited me to do a bioluminescent kayak tour at night. It is a new moon, but the tour was... The video cut off, give me a second. I can't really look because I am driving a brick and I'm gonna run over a fucking can. Yep, that was the can. Day 1, Chapter 1. The embarkment of Aaliyah into the RV and accompanying thoughts. When I brought this thing home, like a piece of sheet metal fell off the truck in front of me, and then I drove over it and it made a really loud bang, and I checked out the bottom, undercarriage, whatever, everything seemed fine. My nose rings always just make an appearance every time I make, holy fucking shit, man. Florida drivers weaving in and out are just, they honestly deserve a special spot in hell. We are going camping. We were gonna do a bioluminescent kayak tour tonight at 10:30, but they had to cancel it because we are at the tail end of a hurricane. Something is banging around in the back there. Every time I drive this, it like something shifts and I don't know what it is. So I'll get to know the little quirks of moving around in this mobile home soon enough. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of document our adventures. It's supposed to be really windy. I don't know what we're gonna do, where we're gonna go, but it has been an adventure and it's gonna continue to be an adventure. And Tim is literally the best person to experience this with because he has a little tow camper. He's been doing this for like longer than I have, so he's kind of shown me the ropes and helping me learn and get used to things and stuff. I feel more confident like having him around. I just got initiated hardcore because there was a weird issue with my tire. I'm such an emotional gal and it already takes so much energy to just like process like the sensory input that I like perceive. So having him there was like an anchor to help me from spiraling, and I'm gonna learn a lot from him. And I said to him, like, it's so nerve-wracking driving one of these things. Like every time I sit in here I actually get anxiety. He's like, yeah, same, you know, like you just have to breathe through it, just like that. So I'm like, yeah, we're learning, and I'm really excited to just get used to this and learn more. And going to the tire place made me want to like go to mechanic school, and I got like oil on my face and all over my hands and I had to scrub it off for like 2 minutes. It made me feel like a badass. And I mean, what the hell, I'm driving, it's so freaking huge. It's a Sprinter chassis, but it's like 8 feet wide and 12 feet tall, and it's just like a beast. Like I look at this and I'm like, you are huge, like you are massive. And it's just crazy to me that I'm driving this thing. So anyway, we're gonna have a great weekend, and whatever happens, it's all part of the adventure, and I'm just gonna breathe through it. And I have support, and I have a great friend with me, so let's adventure. Day 1, Chapter 2, the journey there, the arrival, processing what just happened and what I learned. But wait, before I check in with you guys after I get to camp tonight, let me tell you how the drive went. Firstly, it monsooned halfway through the drive. Secondly, winds got real gusty and battered around one of my ceiling vent fans that I didn't secure properly before leaving. Oops. Thirdly, once we parked at a rest stop, Tim helped me identify this vent fan as the culprit to the banging sound it was making when the wind picked up right before it poured. Fourthly, I realized I couldn't really drive comfortably above 60 miles an hour without getting pushed pretty hard by wind and passing cars. Fifthly, I did find a nice flow on our trip back home though, and was cruising smoothly around 70. I felt like a boss on the road and it was great. Sixthly, at our rest stop, I struggled to figure out why my retractable side stair wouldn't retract, but again, Tim helped me with that. I think my RV has a personality of its own, and I'm convinced I will get to know it better over time. Seventhly and lastly, there are so many little sounds, functions, quirks, and nuances of RV life that my hypersensitive brain struggled hard to process in the beginning. Adjusting to the universe of RVing was a constant challenge for me early on. I was anxious every time I drove it, thought about it, and went inside it simply because I didn't know anything about it yet. I'm so grateful to have had a more learned friend with me to guide me through this process, though. It is like 9:15 or something, and I finally got here. I can't even begin to process and tell you how the journey was, but I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm ready to like de-stress and just like be in nature. A quick interlude. I should explain, I was extra stressed here because the drive and the whole RV learning curve added stress to my already stressed mind. My stress limits were feeling pretty maxed out. If you want to drink those juicy emotional details, go watch my most recent video. Ultimately, spending this time in nature was very soothing for my soul. You guys, holy fucking shit. Damn it. What a fucking journey. I'm gonna set up, I'm gonna plug in. I don't think I'm gonna put the hose, the potable water tonight. My camping neighbors are like really close. Those are my neighbors right there, right here. Let's plug into electricity and at least get that set up. Day 1, chapter 3, venting. Lots of venting, some anxiety, dried kiwis, and settling in. Also, there's the question of whether or not I should take a hot shower, and you're gonna hear me contemplate that out loud quite a few times. So, I landed. I'm eating my dried kiwis. They're super tart and sour and cold because they've been in the fridge. But today's been an adventure, said the woman with grit as she withheld the strong desire to tear this day to shreds, but instead chose to embrace it as an adventure, quote-unquote adventure, okay. Getting ideas for how I want to organize things. There's a little ceiling above my kitchen. But there's no ceilings out in nature. Wait, oh, you're inside. Okay, never mind. And I'm thinking of putting hooks to like hang my strainers and hang my little tools. And I'm realizing I should probably have a mud mat in the entrance to like catch all the mud when I come and go, so I can shake it out. I also realized that the salespeople at the place where I got my RV, they sold me the incorrect kind of slide support. So I opened them up, I put them up, I scratched the paint on the bottom of my slide. No one's gonna see it anyway. They were designed for like slides with like a rubber rim, and mine doesn't have that. Mine's a flat bottom, so it needs a flat support. So that's just another thing. I plugged my surge protector. Electricity's running good. I don't have an electricity reader to like test that stuff, and I don't know if I need one. But I ordered one anyway because I figure it's a safe thing to have handy just in case I need it. I don't know if the surge protector does the same job, but anyway, that's fine. I'm not plugging into water tonight. I'm gonna do that tomorrow because I'm just too tired and I don't have the capacity to like learn. And I realized that I'm not ready to drive across the country in this thing. I have so much more learning to do. But yeah, before we left, it was crazy because I have 6 tires and there's 2 tires side by side on the right and left sides in the back. And the little air spigot thing, I think it's called an air valve, maybe? I don't know what it's called. The valve? Yes, the valve is a probable name for that contraption, I'd say. There's like a hubcap that I learned today is only there for aesthetic purposes. It doesn't really protect anything, and in fact it lessens the aerodynamism. Is that the correct like form to use that word, aerodynamism or aerodynamicness? I'm not sure which one it is, but it impacts the aerodynamics of the tires having a cover with all the little holes on top of like already the frame of the tire inside, or the wheel rather. And I'm sorry if my terminology is like not correct. I don't really know how to talk about like mechanical stuff like this in a like a technically correct way, but anyway. It's okay, honey, you're doing great. There's like the caps on the tires in the back blocked me from accessing the little spout, so we had to take it to a tire place, and thankfully Tim was like very like one-track minded, like very focused, very helpful, more than I could have been on my own, honestly. It was really grounding having him there while I went through this just crazy like brand new RV life experience. So we went to a tire shop and the guys were really nice there, very helpful, and it was like $10 for like all the like work and whatever that they did. It was just just a nice experience. He took the like cover off and he told me that I don't need it there. It just impacts the aerodynamicness of it, or the aerodynamics of it, and creates more drag because the air gets pocketed between the cover and like the inside of the wheel. I was like, okay, that's good to know. The design was just stupid. In order to like fill up the air, you like literally need to pry the cap off, which is like a dumb design. Little things like this, I'm just learning. That was its own adventure, and that already gave me a headache. I just got in my car, I drove, and then when I was driving, I was having like waves of peace on and off, and I mostly had anxiety and I was just like breathing through it, and I kind of found a sweet spot with my speed. When I drive 60 miles an hour and higher, when a car drives past me or wind blows, it jolts my van, which is scary because this thing is huge. It's just very big. It's a brick, and it takes up pretty much the entire lane on the road. So I find like 50 miles is like a comfy, cozy speed. And then when I was like driving on the road, I started hearing like a violent like banging, whipping, and at first I thought it was the little divider that separates the bed area into an actual bedroom, because you can like unclip it and retract it. And then it was getting more intense, and I was like, could it be the shower curtain, because it's like a heavy plastic thing on a metal track and it's attached at the top and the bottom. And then I thought, oh, it's probably one of the ceiling fans. Thankfully, we were approaching a truck stop at the time when all this weirdness was going on. The wind was really whipping, it was really picking up, and there was gray heads of little tornado funnels like in the sky, and the clouds were super low to ground because we're at the tail end of Hurricane Bethany or something. It's some B name. So we pulled over and Tim figured out that it was this one, and apparently there is a thing right here that you have to push up flush to close it. I didn't realize that. When I got this, I was like opening the fans and seeing if they worked and everything. Sure enough it did, but I guess just when the wind picked up, it got caught in the cap over this thing and the air was just making it bang a lot. So when we parked, got that figured out, and then I'm just basically getting to know like the quirks of how this computer house works. It's like a computer that has quirks and it has a personality and it has things that it does and ways that it operates that I'm getting to know. When we parked and I got out, I exited through the side door instead of through the cab door. When I shut the door, the little stair, there's like a third stair that expands and retracts, and when I shut the door, it didn't retract. Every time I opened and shut the house door when this thing was sitting in my driveway, it retracted just fine. Tim was very helpful. Again, we googled some stuff and he's like, try turning the ignition on. As soon as I turned it on, the thing retracted. I learn from people better than I do from digging through manuals, and this is well-earned fuel after an eventful day. I feel a little overstimulated. No, I felt a lot overstimulated. Watching this back was ridiculous. And I just feel almost like I'm in school. My brain is just like wired. I might want to like take a hot shower, not worry about water, and just like fill it up tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a full day to relax. Honey pie, you don't even see what's coming. It was gonna take me a couple times to like get used to camping in this thing, but I'm so glad I have a friend with me and he's right now next door. Oh my god. So yeah, want a little tour? I'll give you a tour. Day 1, Chapter 4, the final chapter of Day 1, I must add. RV tour and a bonus tour of my final thoughts for the night. Tomorrow we explore Rock Springs. So here we are, that's a cab. When it was dusk, I started to get really comfy driving it, and I was like, it's starting to feel like a second skin, like a second body, you know what I mean? Like cars become your second body when you drive them, and you can kind of, you have like a sense of like your aura expands to the edges of the car, and you can kind of sense when you're too close to something or how wide to make your turn or whatever. Driving 3-4 hours today, being in this thing all day, helped me sink into that feeling. But first I have to get past the initial anxiety of it, which is crazy to drive this huge thing. I mean, it's so big. I like can't stop saying that. Anyway, my bag stayed nice and cool and calm on the chair the whole time. It didn't misbehave. Why does listening to this back make me think I'm projecting the calm, still centered aspect of my psyche onto this bag so that my mind could still retain a semblance of peace amidst its rampant and anxious activity? I just set up a trash bag and wrapped this around the head here. It's like a giant bag. I don't have a trash can or anything. I set up the extra wing of the counter and I just kind of took some stuff out, and I'm like, I would like to hang it there because I like everything to have its place. I don't like mess. Even this just like bothers me. I'm a very organized gal. I don't even like the randomness of this, but I have garbage bags, some utensils, cleaning fluids for like tanks and maintenance and stuff, storage jars. I haven't unwrapped them yet. That's a dish drying rack. And then in the fridge, I have protein powder, broccoli, more dried watermelon. This stuff is so good. Just a bottle, melon, which I might have some melon, and then I have some like food in here I might unpack. And then in the freezer, I don't have anything. I haven't used the stovetop yet, but it's It's an induction stove, and I have pots. Actually, I have my pots in, this is just grocery bags in a grocery bag. Is this not the best RV tour ever so far? So I'll use this for like trash bags or something. That's the slide support that I need to return. I kept my pots in here, pots and pans. These are 2 of them because like they can't fit anywhere else, so I don't know where to put them. They're my brand new ceramic pots. I'm probably gonna cook with them. Well, I definitely am gonna cook with them. This is the mattress. I'm gonna uninstall it actually. It's screwed in here and I want to take it off because you can't lift up the bottom part, and there are cracks in here that are not butterproof. I don't know if she could like get back under there or whatever. It just freaks me out. So I'm gonna take this thing off and seal the cracks here with like Velcro and mesh like I did with this. This was my first DIY project. I just lined this with Velcro on top and on the bottom of the mesh here, so it's like she can't get in there, because you could literally stick your whole hand up and then over it, and then it's like this whole empty space. Like I cannot get her out of there, and I don't want her to get stuck, so it's gonna just freak me out. Where this black line is, like this comes in up to about like here in line with the bed. It's like about 3 feet out, so you push it out and then you get all this amazing like living room floor space. It's so great and good and cool. So, and let's see what my pots did. I'm kind of afraid to look in here. Oh, okay, everything's perfectly fine where I left it. My broom, my other broom, dustpan, and then my 2 pots. We're fine. We made it. 180 miles. We made it. And then the bathroom. Oh, by the way, this thing, it unbuttons, and then you can pull this out to like make it a bedroom and like separate the living room. Anyway, this is the bathroom. Oh, it's nice and cool in here because the AC is on. Shower, toilet, and I bought a little bottle of Poo-Pourri, but I can't find it. Oh wait, it's hiding over here. Yay! It actually smells really good. Vanilla petals and santal, and it's got essential oils. It seemed like the ingredients were fine. And you know what? I just like smells, and I like have never owned one of these before, and I've never cared to like make my bathroom smell any way other than like pumpkin spice candle or like incense or whatever. But I just, you know, I splurged on Poo-Pourri. That's okay with me. So there we go. So that's that. I'm gonna get cozy. I'm probably gonna text him and see how he's doing, and then maybe like make some food or something. I don't even know. I'm a little crazy. I just might need to meditate and like sit outside for a little bit. But anyway, thanks for joining me on my adventure. My first time camping in this thing ever, and my first official drive in it. I only ever drove it home from the RV place, which was like 140 miles or something, 150, 160 miles, and I can't tell if I hear thunder in the distance or if that's like the AC. I think I'm gonna shut the blinds and like dim the lights and make it cozy. Yeah, what a life, man. I can't even keep up with my ambition with what I want to do with this and how I want to feel and how I want to live in it. There's so much more than my current knowledge or experience or readiness or anything. So this learning curve is going to be like a long-term commitment, and I'm excited and terrified. I'm so glad I did this because I'm only going to get deeper into it. I now know so much more than I did before this. Oh, and I have a visitor. Bye.
Day 1, Chapter 5. Tim came over. Then we walked around the campground at night. Then the next morning came, which brings us to Day 2, Chapter 6. Fresh morning thoughts. Exploring the campground. The drive there. And Viola. Rock Springs. Okay, so let's see what I was going on about when I woke up the next morning. It's the next morning and I just woke up and I barely slept. It was really intense. I'm trying to figure out how to use my lens. 50mm. Probably making a bunch of noises. 1.8 f-stop, just the way I like it. I feel really awful. I'm so overstimulated. I couldn't fall asleep last night because the AC was making the whole little house on wheels shake. It was really inconvenient. And then I was hearing more sounds. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna do my 45-minute long breathwork and meditation practice that I haven't done in a while. And I also feel like I haven't been getting enough attention in like ways that I need it. I need massages and I need like space inside my being. So that's why I'm gonna do my breathwork and meditation. But I really feel a little neglected. First things first, I was overcoming some sort of sinus infection. Also, your girl was fresh out of some CPTSD triggers from living at mom's house. Watch my recent van life thoughts video for more on this. And instead of meditating, I spent the morning hours exploring the campsite and filming scenery. So let's just enjoy some nature before we go on the road to the springs. Get crawling all over the leaves. Do you see the little red dot? It's a little bug, and I wish I zoomed in on it a little bit more because it was cute. Oh, there it is. It's a little ant.
Yeah, Spanish moss dangling from the trees. Yeah, baby, yeah. Ooh, do you feel that cool breeze? Yeah, looking at the video. You must feel all the wind from the video, cause yeah, all the senses are connected, and you probably smell all that seaweed, don't ya? Check me out on IG. I have more music on my Reel Sap.
But a lot of those shots are, you know, I have a tripod with that, so it doesn't matter so much. And then the other one, the second one, requires a lot more because I was shooting 2 dancers.
Oh.
And so some of the shots I was trying to move with them, and it's very difficult to get a stable shot.
Yeah.
This was when Tim and I took off after an easy morning. He was telling me stories about some documentaries he worked on, which I found really inspiring. As I'm typing these words, it's currently August 24th, 2 weeks after I started editing this video. Film stuff is so time-consuming and requires such thoroughness and focused attention, but it's one of my favorite creative mediums. So I hope you're enjoying this so far, and with that, enjoy the ride, and we're gonna be at the Springs so soon. Can't wait to share that with you. But before we get there, I want to share a little more with you. This was my attempt at capturing some of the inspiring architecture and scenery on the way there. The frame rate was a little too slow, I think, to get an image that wasn't too blurry, but it still makes a point. We pretty much followed this truck the whole way there. Not the whole way there, but a lot of the way there. Did you just decide to do the video of her, like, out of your own volition?
Yeah, I was really interested in dance, and this was also like, I think probably 2 or 3 years after I made the first documentary, so I feel like I had the itch again. I wanted to
make
shoot
another one
again.
Yeah.
After forgetting all the pain and suffering that I had to go through.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe I needed the time to recover from it, and then
Yeah.
I was like, alright, I'm ready. So I asked around for any recommendation if anyone knows.
Some of the clips just kind of blend together because this truck is pretty much in front of us the entire time, or most of the time. And a lot of the drive was what you're seeing right now, driving through forested roads. A lot of flat roads because it's in Florida, but there were some hilly roads, and I tried to capture some of the views that we saw when we were driving through more expansive stretches of road.
Great source, right? A random guy. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. But he made mushroom chocolates.
Okay.
So he added mushrooms and then a bunch of like herbs that like emphasized the mushrooms to the chocolate. Tim and I were talking about psilocybin mushrooms, and I've done them a few times in my life, but I'm really not a psychedelic gal at all whatsoever by any means. I swear to God, I'm really not. I actually really kind of hate using them and doing them, and I don't think I'm ever gonna do them again in my life, ever.
You could see marshes and rivers and more expansive Florida wild landscapes. So that's that. And then we were surprised with something really fun and nice towards the end of our journey, which you're about to see. So hang tight. Oh my God. What?
What?
There has to be a way around.
I hope so.
Oh my God. Oh, look at that cute little house.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Very nice.
Love it.
like a real safari. Going for a little swim. Okie dokie.
Worth the ticket price, huh?
Yeah. If I drove my van over this, it would be like jumping so high off the road. That'd be a little bump. And last but not least, the moment you have more than likely been waiting this entire time for. Rock Springs. We arrived. Enjoy. I am so glad that we made it. It was so sublime coming here and witnessing the raindrops on the surface. And it was during, I think, a Thursday, so it really wasn't packed at all.
The orb weaver has moved.
That was a spider. Big orb weaver hanging above the water. And I have a history of being afraid of natural bodies of water, but that has never stopped me from enjoying them. I used to live right on the beach in Florida for 6 years straight. And I would go in the water sometimes every day, sometimes once or 3 times a week. And I love the water. I love being in the water, but it's such a vulnerable feeling, especially when you can't see the bottom. And especially when a large moving shadow creature is gliding towards you in the water, which happened to me once, but it turned out to be a manatee, which was sublime and incredible. And so coming to the springs and spending all day here and putting my feet on the ground that you are looking at right now and feeling the squelchiness between my toes was so healing and cathartic. And actually, when I was younger, I used to want to be a scuba diver, and I can remember to this day dreams that I had about the ocean and the underwater universe as a 4-year-old. And I've always been so fascinated with just the underwater universe. I mean, I think that's a pretty universal sentiment because look at how sublimely beautiful this is. And I know I'm one of probably millions of people who feel the same way, I would imagine. But with Tim, he is a free diver, and I started to spend a lot of time snorkeling and diving with him in the ocean, and that helped me navigate a lot of my fears around underwater textures, especially if you're a sensory kind of sensitive person like I am. It can be overstimulating to submerge and explore, especially alone and underwater. But having Tim helped me just expand the capacity of my nervous system to really adjust to the textures and sensory experience of being underwater. And having an opportunity to dive and explore and connect with the visual, sensual, sensorial beauty of this place was such a gift and such a blessing. And after spending a day here, I just felt so blissed out, and my nervous system felt so regulated and used to the water. And it's like swimming in a swimming pool. You know, there's a sense of predictability that being able to see all the way across to the bottom of the water, to the, you know, other end of the river, being able to have that visibility, it does something so miraculous for me, a person who is otherwise super sensitive about, you know, just being underwater, being in natural bodies of water. So yeah, and just the underwater universe of all these little creatures and fish and everything it's mesmerizing. And Tim let me borrow his underwater phone case, so I shot a lot of this footage with that, and yeah. I'm also super grateful to be sharing this imagery and these stories with you, because I am super passionate about the beauty of the natural world and spiritual and emotional growth and development and being a human and stretching and expanding my capacity to be a human, and travel and new senses and new experiences are some of the most effective ways to develop and grow and expand. And it's just, I mean, just seeing the ecosystems of the plants and the fish and the absorbing the minerals and the sun and the nature and having bare feet on the earth underwater. I mean, just the Florida Springs are some of the most beautiful natural places to experience in the world, and I live close enough to them to be able to just drive a couple hours and experience things like this. But I am so passionate about being able to bring the depth and of these experiences to the world through a creative medium such as film and storytelling. It just excites my heart, and it warms my heart, and it makes me aggressively passionate and excited. And I don't know how to even put this into words, but yeah, underwater is just it's so inspiring to me, especially the beautiful springs. And it's really rewarding to be able to just walk away from an experience in life with just the pure, I mean, listen to me. That's what this does to me. But yeah, being able to experience this, I mean, this is what being alive is worth to me. One of the experiences that being alive is worth to me, you know, immersing in the beauty of the natural world. And as an artist, that means the most to me. Like, it's making me emotional to talk about this, because this is probably one of my main drivers and passions in this life. And I'm so blessed and honored and enthused to be able to share this with you. You know, and I was going on so much in the beginning of this video about all my anxieties and everything, and I like to express myself and not hold anything back and be free and be authentic and be open. And that was the price that I had to pay to get this. And such is life, that if you want something, if you want anything, you can have it. I will always be such an advocate for that. If you want anything, you can have it. You just need to want it bad enough to go through whatever you need to go through in order to get closer to that thing and to finally arrive, you know? It's like the reward of knowledge and wisdom comes at the price of enduring the climb up the mountain that it takes to get there, you know? And I'm all about that, you know? Sitting here for 2-3 weeks editing this was uninspiring at points. You know, life is uninspiring at points, but there are moments like this that make everything worthwhile. And I'm feeling so satisfied as I'm saying these words, because that sentiment is exactly what I want to deliver and share with my viewers and remind myself in life throughout my entire life. It's something I want to pass on to my future children, you know? Like, live life with an open heart, be honest with yourself, let life, you know, break your heart open a million times so that you allow yourself the opportunity to experience, you know, the bliss and the beauty and the wonder that's on the other side. And I could go on forever about this, but I mean, just like, look at this. Look at this. And I paid I paid a price to get here. I had to endure a lot of discomfort and fear and anxiety, and you know, it's a funny complaint to have, you know, like struggles of an RV life. Like, it's such a blessing. I'm not ungrateful for my blessings and the fact that I have an RV, but it was so intimidating as a single 26-year-old woman traveling alone, as someone with, you know, you could say sensory issues. Like, I'm hypersensitive, so processing, you know, emotions and things is already a lot for me. But I'm living my life, and it's going to be a lot no matter what I choose to do, so I'd rather choose something that's rewarding in ways that I want and that I'm inspired and moved by. And just look at the raindrops on the surface of the water from under the water. That's one of my favorite things ever. So I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and I will allow you to enjoy the rest of this natural beauty in silence. I'll see you in a little bit. With all these minerals soaked into my body, and after what felt like being charged and cleansed with the pulse of Earth's very heart, this wellspring of life was well absorbed into me. Our time at Rock Springs came to a close for the day, and we began our trek home. Back to the campsite for tonight for one last sleep before driving back to our respective dwelling places. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. We have reached the end of this story. There are more to come. I have since gone on an another camping trip just by myself, no Tim this time, and I hope to put out a video of that adventure soon. And this is the first video like this that I've ever put so much into, so I really hope that it serves you in some way to watch. And I'm so excited. I'm feeling really fulfilled by this. Video and film to me is one of the most satisfying mediums of expression that there is, because it combines story and visual and feeling and so much. So yeah, with that, I'll see you next time.